Hey friends, it's Michael Kostroff with more ideas about acting and auditioning and all that stuff. Um, Something that I see actors do a lot is stop at the sort of predominant color of a scene, the main emotion, the main thing that's going on, and make it all that. Uh, which is why something I say a lot to my students is, what else could it be? What else could be going on? We worked on an interesting scene in class the other day where a young woman was being very brave and standing up to this very scary sort of monster lady, and and we explored the fear underneath. So it wasn't just I'm not scared of you, I'm brave. It was that, and also I am scared and I'm going to be brave anyway. The scene instantly got more interesting. But the particular thing I see a lot, like an actor go to, is seething rage. Seething rage. I see people, reading the role of a detective, and I want to let the criminal know how much I hate him. I'm seething with rage. A couple having an argument. It's always just utter hate and contempt. And there's so much more available. And there's so much more to the human journey and the human condition that it gets a bit silly. It gets a bit silly that it's just I'm seething with rage and resentment, and that's all. And I don't know why we like to do that. I think maybe it feels like real acting. If I really I'm just filled with rage. But the thing is, as I think I've said to you before, there's hope in an argument, particularly with someone that you love. But even when it's not somebody you love, we argue because I want to get through to you. I can't understand where you're coming from. I want you to see how shocking that is. I'm gonna make my point to you. You're not hearing me. That's why we yell. You're not hearing me. And there's so much else going on. I mean, and from one moment to the next, it can flicker between, all right, look, I'm going to try to be calm about this. I want to be the better person. To fuck that, I'm over you. Like all these things could happen instead of just I'm going to lock into this, thing. I don't know what. For those of you old enough to get the reference, it's Harpo Marx. It's a little lazy, and it's a little indulgent. And I think you want to weave through the scene and think about how does it strike me when the person says this? How does it strike me? Does it surprise me? Does it make me angrier? Do they have a good point and I wish they didn't? So many other things can be going on. And in the detective or police officer example, and just because they're investigating doesn't mean they have a deep personal resentment for the crime you've committed or for who you are. Sometimes it's just Tuesday and they're doing their job. It's not always personal. Dig a little deeper. Ask yourselves a lot of questions. Ask yourself what else could be going on. What else? I always say that to students. What else? Okay, I got it. You're pissed off. What else? Oh, I'm pissed off, and I also can't believe that this is happening. Now you got another color going on. I'm pissed off, and I'm gonna make you understand why. I'm pissed off, and I'm trying not to be that guy. You understand we could go on forever with this, and this is how you avoid being some cartoon color version of human behavior. So many things flick through our brains in any circumstance. So what do you think of all that? Little acting talk today. It's just what was on my mind. That's how we get nuances. That's how we get layers. That's how we get, as I say, closer to our main job, which is replicating the truth of the human experience, seeing how close we can come to replicating that. Okay, friends, I'll see you next week, and I look forward to your thoughts. Bye.
Get tough. Get tough with the other one. Get tough with both of them. Tougher!